Hello and good morning and welcome to the Magnificent Abundance Manifestor. So today's live is about paying the price for what it is that you deeply desire. So in my title, I do say that everything comes with a price. And are you ready to pay it in order to get what you deeply desire? However, how I'm going to explain it might be slightly confusing for you because it's not the usual way that you would understand by paying the price. Okay, are you ready? So let's get started. All right, so anything that you want in life, materially speaking, as a price. You want to eat, you need to pay for the food. You want to have a nice house, you need to pay for the house. So you have that understanding when it comes to material things, and you are going to reach out to your purse to get what it is that you want. Now, when it comes to anything else, there is also a price to pay that is energetic. And in one of my lives, I did talk about the law of equivalent exchange, which is anything that you attract in your life, there is something else that you need to give back in return of the same value, of the same frequency. And if you don't, well, this is the scary part. If you don't, it's going to be taken away from you. And someone that teaches about prosperity does explain it really well. So her name is Catherine Ponder. Obviously, it's I don't think she's alive anymore, unless I'm mistaken, but I read her books on prosperity, and it's very well explained in terms of so many laws in the universe that regulate the way we interact with each other and how we manifest anything in our lives, consciously or subconsciously. And Catherine Ponder really explains very, very well that if you don't give it spontaneously on your own, the universe, it's the universal law, is going to take it away from you. And this is why it is obviously better to do it intentionally on your own without being prompted to do it when you expect it the least. Now, what is this price? So this is where the confusion can be. So paying the price for what it is that you want doesn't mean in any way things that you have to sacrifice, that you have to give up, that you have to suffer. So suffering doesn't mean, so paying the price doesn't necessarily mean suffering or giving something that is dear to you. It's spontaneously decide what it is that you can create energetically to exchange for what it is that you want to receive. Very basic example. If you have a service of a product of a great value, you actually delivering extreme great value when you deliver that service, and once you are paid, you receive what it is that you ask for, which can be a combination of the financial return, but also the emotional and spiritual return, because you contributed to something and you made it better. So you benefit from both angles, and in exchange you produced and delivered something of great value. Another way to pay the price for what it is that you desire is having, so because we talk about energy here, and now you will understand when I say that your job in order to get what you want is to raise your vibration and frequency to such a level that you're going to then attract what it is that you desire. And in other words, as another coach mentioned, you need to be an energetic match for what it is that you desire, so that it's a no-brainer. It just comes to your field, to your reality, because you're vibrating so much of that vibe that there is no other option not to have it. So, but obviously, to be at that level of vibration and frequency, the price that you have to pay is that inner work. That the fact that you have to maintain that energy at a quasi-constant basis, on a quasi-constant basis, right? Because if you drop your energy and you get sidetracked, well, it's going to be reflected in the manifestation of what it is that you have around you. So this is the price that you have to pay, which is about maintaining that vibration, maintaining that energy, in being in the light constantly. Obviously, there are other ways to attract things to you, and I'm solely focused on high vibration and frequency and being in the light, because this is about love. This is about manifestation from a pure, heightened vibe perspective. So if some of you might wonder, yeah, but there are people out there who are not necessarily really nice people, and they are actually horrible, and they do get stuff. They, let's say the path to them is different, and they have chosen a path that, so you know what, the law of equivalent exchange still applies to them. So you don't know what's happening behind closed door. You don't know what's the story. And you might see that they get things even though they don't do all of this inner work, and they have just the certainty that they are going to get it, which is one component, but you don't see the whole picture. So it's up to you to decide which direction you want to take in order to become that amazing manifester and be able to get what you want at will. Right? So that it doesn't feel like a struggle, a mystery for you anymore. Just because you are so in mastery of your energy flow and your state and your emotions, and you can bring into your field and manifest anything that you ever desire, because you know how this works. So, coming back to the theme, which is about the price that you have to pay to get that you want. So are you willing to maintain your energy at that frequency? And that means no complaining. That means healing what needs to be healed. That means looking at the truth when you don't want to look. A lot of people avoid truth because it's painful, because it's going to actually show a part of themselves that they are not willing to embrace. And in fact, I was thinking about that this morning, because I was thinking of some people who have been in the healing field and industry for a while. And I'm wondering, but how come I still see them stuck? After all of these trainings, after all of this work, how come? Well, you know what the answer is to that? I'm going to tell you. It's because they have avoided, they have been in total avoidance of what it is that they really need to deal with, and what it is that they really need to heal. So it's like if you look at a house, right, that needs to be cleaned up, or not maybe a house, just a room. So these people who spend years and years doing so many trainings and healing and all of that, but they don't have much progress, it's because they are sweeping in the corners of the room, and they make everything neat, and they work on this and they work on that, but the really big stuff, and you can call it the elephant in the room, they don't want to look at it. They actually avoid it. And they try to convince themselves that they've done the work, when actually that very thing that they haven't dealt with is what keeps them stuck. If you are one of them, so I highly encourage you to ask for more truth in your life. Set that intention. And I remember actually, I was having a session with a client, and he was going through some, you know, a rough time. And I was giving him healing and coaching. And then I told him, I said, look, I would like you to do that following exercise and ask for more truth to be shown to you, for your awareness of truth to be wide and expanded, so that you really know what's happening in your life. And the instant reaction was like, well, actually, I'm not sure I really want to know the whole truth. So truth can be really scary because it will show you parts of yourself that you're not proud of, parts of yourself that you need to actually address to move forward, to progress further, okay? Yes. So, and this is something that is really important to understand, because there is no point kidding yourself, taking tons of courses, taking tons of, reading tons of books, if you're not ready to face yourself. And you might not know how to do it, and that's okay. So go to someone who can show you the way, who has the skills. Because, look, when you heal yourself, right? So there are various levels, and I've seen a lot of people that have done a lot of the external superficial work but never reached the depth of what it is that really needs healing. And then they spend years here but they never go at a deep level. But it's not because, yes, it can be, as I said, that they actually don't want to, but you also need to be very skillful in order to do that. So this is why I call it psychic surgery when I work with my clients, because every one of you is different. You have a different level of sensitivity. The trauma that you've been through is different from one to another, and I have a very different approach from one client to another, because what you've been through, it's only you. And how I'm going to work with you when I dive into your energy and into your soul is going to be different of how I do it for your friend, of your neighbor, right? So it takes a skillful healer to be able to just pinpoint and hit the pain point. So this is something that you ought to yourself to do if you really want to get what you desire, because when you are not dealing with that stuff, which is buried like 10 feet under, well, then you might not really reach that level of wealth, success, and happiness that you really want and just talk about, but you still need to do the work. And if you can't do it yourself, and to get to that level of depth, you really need very skillful healer. I repeat myself, but this is what I've experienced, what I've seen. So do what it takes. Go to a healer. Put yourself together and make things happen. And if you don't know what your next step, ask for guidance. You will check in and decide how you want to move forward further. Okay? So, and this is how I would define paying the price. Paying the price, it's not like cutting a part of yourself and give it away, or being like forced and giving your soul to get what you want. No. This is not how I say it. This is not how I explain it. It's being willing to do the work and to go through the fire of truth. I mentioned that before in one of my posts. And I worked with high energy, pure energy, meaning at a high frequency, okay? And the reason why I am able to do this is because I was willing to walk through that fire of truth and looking at all of my inner demons in the face. And it was super because I had resistance, so it was painful because there was many things that I didn't know, and second I didn't want to know, but I did it anyway because I wanted to move forward in my life. So this is why today I can work with my clients in such a high frequency, and it's very easy for me to do this. So my recommendation for you is, if you want to get to the other side, then be courageous enough to be willing to go through that fire of truth and do the work. And this is the price to pay to get what you really desire if you want to operate from a high frequency, high vibration, pure light perspective. Okay, so as you can see, I was very passionate about this topic. So I hope it helped you, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate. So my recommendation to you is to ask yourself what it is that you want and how willing are you to get it. What's the price you're willing to pay for it? Okay, and if you want to go through the fire of truth with me, well, you can, I will drop the link below if you want to have a taster of what a session feels like, or you want to go straight away to a package or have a magic potion, whatever. You can bring magic into your life in various possible ways, okay? And it's up to you to decide. On that note, I'm wishing you a beautiful rest of the day, and happy manifesting. Bye-bye.